Alright, I have a treat for you. We are going into Cataclysmic T6s right now. Okay. So, this is exactly the problem that I was telling you about 30, 60 seconds ago in the last one that I did. This is a room with a whole stinking bunch of speed clouds. I very much look at all those speed clouds. They're goddamn everywhere. It's not that it's a hard room. It's a very easy room if you're slow enough to actually sit and shoot these guys for 3 minutes. So you'll see me shoot and take some damage and switch around a bit and send drones out and bring drones back, and there's another speed cloud. Off we go again. I was aiming at as big of a red spot as I could where it didn't look like there was any clouds. Fortunately, I popped back out of it pretty quickly, brought my drones back again. I think some of my other drones were getting shot at. And I mean, I can't go down anymore. I can't go straight. There's clouds everywhere. Turned on the second rep. Get some more shots and some more kills in, but I know I'm going to be hitting another one. Great big patch of red over there. I'm going to try for that. Hit another speed cloud, though. Now, I mean, if I cared, it'd be a good thing to hit a speed cloud if I needed some reps and to get out of the DPS. Didn't need to. Didn't hit my ADC whatsoever in this room. So yeah, there's a fair bit of me just trying to manage stinking speed clouds here. The frigates, if they're actually in range, die pretty quick. You'll notice I turned my afterburner off so that hopefully I don't end up in another speed cloud. I mean, they're still everywhere, but now at least we can kind of focus down the damage. Not a huge issue. And the more of them that die, the less damage I take. Like, I'm around 60-70% armor. It's only going to get better the more of those guys die. And if you look, there's really not a lot left at this point, which is why we're going to bring drones back out to shoot at the Rodivas while we finish up the frigates. And I'm pretty sure I threw one of my guys on shooting the Rodiva as well. They kind of bounced out of range a little bit, though. I did pop a couple other boosters. I popped oh, that's where the other percent came from, right? Oh my god, I could actually get quite a bit of range out of that. So I popped a Halcyon, the DED one that is out, or that I got today from one of the special rewards. I did not pop a synth, which would also further increase it, which would make it fantastic. I'm very tempted to do that and go run some more of these, actually, now that you mentioned, but unfortunately I have some painting to do. So they're all dead. Now, of course, I'm going towards the cache, and do you think there is a goddamn speed cloud anywhere to make this quicker? No. No, all the speed clouds are apparently just everywhere, not at the cache. But you can't tell that looking at them from everywhere else. So, my alt's going to go grab the cache, and we're going to head to the next room. Not as much time left as I'd like, but we're still well ahead of time by about a minute, I think it is. Yeah, but that's how speed clouds can take a 3-minute room to a 5.5, 6-minute room, which is not that pleasant. Okay, there we go, alt caught up. Next room's a Deepwatcher Room. Now, typically tier 6 is 4 Deepwatchers. This one has 3, but it added a bunch of, well, it added a few frigates and cruisers. So my alt, I sent this guy first, but my alt is the one who's going to go to the cache, because again, he doesn't have cap boosters, so he can hold the loot. And we're going to start shooting everything else in here. Can't use drones a ton because there is that medium range deviant. And we're going to kill those frigates first. I noticed that there was the warden, so he started nuding me off the bat. And I wanted to get him dead so that we can get to the deep watchers a little bit quicker. So I decided to focus fire down the frigates and cruisers first. Just get them out of the way, then that way I don't have to worry about them. I don't have to worry about them shooting drones if I do decide to pull drones out. I don't have to worry about them, you know, chasing my drones off to a wrong direction or whatever. I just didn't have to worry about them. I can handle 3 Deepwatchers. I did have a little bit of extra time coming in this room, really not a big issue. If I had to, I could overheat a bit. These guys are fantastic to overheat on if you need to, once they're later in their cycles. So once the Deepwatcher's almost out of armor, like 10-15% armor left, if you want to overheat there, you're going to burn through him real quick. Like another benefit of this room is you can grab that cash beforehand because it's on the way towards the Deepwatchers. So that'll get you your loot, and that'll get that set aside so that it's one less thing you have to worry about to get out of this room. Of course, the only downside to the Deepwatcher Room is it is a time sink, which means that now that I've killed everything else, and I occasionally kick out my drones, there's not a lot else for you to watch. Now, here's the thing to pay attention to. So, this guy is less DPS than my other two. That's why he's the tank, and my other two are the DPS. We may have been over this before. I noticed that his drones were not taking damage. My DPS's guy's drones were taking damage. And all that is this guy is a few kilometers away from the other guy. And he's at 44-45 kilometer range for the medium deviant, which is getting towards the max range of the medium deviant. So his drones weren't taking damage, but the others were a little bit closer, and they were. And because this guy is less DPS, I put all of the drones on him first. I did split it up a little bit afterwards when the other guys were falling behind, just to kind of try to get them to die fairly close to the same time. And they were doing pretty good at that. Like, it's not like there's a timer or anything, so yeah, they don't have to die at the same time. I just kind of like to set it up that way. So, drones are in, heading to the gate, just have to go through. 10 minutes left, which is worlds of time for the last room. It means that if we need to make time sacrifices to make the room work, we absolutely can. It's no huge concern. We're not racing anything. Where if you're racing, you might have to cut corners. So, wasn't sure how long this room would actually take. It's a 6 Drekavac Room, which is a lot of Drekavics with anti-drone towers. And there were also 4 Kikis. I mean, the Kikis were less of a concern, but because there's 4 Kikis, I can't really focus on the Drekavics right away. So, for example, my Hawks, they like to focus on the Dreks first sometimes. Like, I could leave 4 Kikis alive, especially with 1 tangling, or kill the tangling first. And then I can focus down the Drekavics before a couple of them have a chance to get their armor back. I did not have that option here. I had to kill the Kikimoras first to make sure that they didn't have the damage to bother me too much, or if they switch targets. Not that they usually do. I probably would have been fine just killing the tangling and going for the Dreks, but I like splitting targets, so I didn't really want to do that. And I see Drek 1 there. He isn't full armor just yet, but he's getting pretty close, and in here it's plus 50% armor for them. So he's already well over what he normally would be. So there's a lot of burning down to do in here. A lot of burning down to do in here. A lot of burning down to do in here? Alright. So last Kiki's dying. I know one of my guys had an issue with targeting him. But either way, like, it's a Kiki. He's going to die. There we go. So now I gave each of my guys 2 Drekavics to shoot. We switched over to Occult because Occult has far more damage. We used drones sparingly because, again, medium tower, so they would take their damage, but they can get repairs, so it's okay. Not that I love them usually enough to repair them, but I try to only let them go down to almost out of shield and then bring them back in. They regenerate the shield, and you can do it again. And of course, because we're running Firestorms, we are tankier, but so are all of the Triglavians, and especially the Triglavians. If we ramp up enough, though, our ships combined can hit 2,000 DPS without drones. And I threw on extra boosters, which means that we can probably hit higher than stinking 2,000 DPS, which is just a crazy amount. Well, let's see, throw on another 6%, that's what, 2120 DPS without drones? So it's a fairly significant amount. So down to 3. This time, if I remember correctly, I definitely messed up on range on him and had to go back. We're doing alright on time. I mean, there was no way we weren't going to be doing okay on time. So what I did here was this guy was barely starting his, and the other two were finishing his. So I had one DPS kick around to help him out, and then I sent the other DPS to go get the loot. Oh, right, that's what it was. I was trying to micromanage drones too much, and got distance on this guy. So we have to stay till we kill him, unfortunately, just because he is annoying. No, because we can't really use drones. Usually I like to leave my drones on for the last little bit and have them finish off the guys so I can be heading towards the gate. But again, that's not the case. We have to fly 40 kilometers back. But our other guy's already off to grab the loot, so we can kind of just head right out of here. And that's going to be that one done. You'll see the loot on the Abyss tracker. If you have any questions, as always, let me know. That's what I'm here for. Fly fun, because safe can be boring sometimes, so just make sure it's fun instead. Later.